Here, you can hold it.
Check.
We'll tell you how much that we love you. Buck's dad, Mike, is in the hospital, and we're going to lift him up in prayer tonight, too. Mike's going through a lot. Kathy's having to go through a lot as well. Bless her heart. She made it tonight. Buck made it tonight. We're recording this for your dad, and we're going to get it on the YouTube as quick as we can so he can pull it up and watch it, okay?
How you doing, Dad? I want to say that the devil is working overtime on my family, but he's put my dad in the hospital. He's gave me a cold. I've had a cold the last 2 days fighting it, but you know, we're going to defeat him. I believe in that. I couldn't have said that 5 years ago, well, 4 years ago, but now I can, and we're not going to let him win. I know the devil is a lie, yes. And grateful to be here. Grateful for my God of my understanding, who I call Jesus Christ. I know he died for my sins, and that's why I'm here, because I was a sinner. I was the worst kind. My story starts, I was born, and from what my mom and dad told me, I started in intensive care. I shouldn't have made it through that, but I made it through that. There was a purpose in my life. There was something God wanted me to do. I had a pretty normal childhood. I was a pretty decent kid, spoiled kid. I was the only child, so I'm used to getting my way. I'm still like that. There's no doubt about that.
Amen.
There you go. I'll get you later for that.
I'll do it.
My road of drugs and alcohol and just doing debauchery started about 12 to 13. I was kind of a quiet kid, kept to myself, so I had to always entertain myself. And then when I got in middle school, I was like, well, I don't know, for some reason I was drawn to like a bad crowd. I knew I was drawn to a bad crowd. I didn't care. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. So about 12 or 13, I started drinking like most, I don't know when most people did, but for me it was 12 or 13. I started drinking alcohol. That's what it started at. Well, actually it started with cigarettes. Started smoking cigarettes. Then started drinking alcohol. Then it went to pot. And by the time I was 16, I was smoking pot every day. And then I got 16, 17, like I wrote down here, I was in every rehab you can imagine. I went from Georgia Regional to Brightmoor to Charter. I went to every rehab. I mean, I like to go to rehab because basically I could just, sing my story, tell them I'll be better, tell them I'll do good, and next thing you know, let me get out, let me calm things down with my parents and stuff, get them off my case, and then when I'm ready to go make another run, I go make another run. I can honestly say no one manipulated like I can. I didn't tell this last year, but I'm telling it this year. At one time when I was 17 or 18, I lived at home with my parents. I was a sponge. If you older people, you know what a sponge is. So, exactly. I know you know. And I would sit home all day, do nothing, smoke my pot. When I run out of my pot, my mom, she worked at Western Sizzling back then. I would wait for her to actually get home and her to hide her money bag. Yeah, that's how bad it was. She had to hide her money bag from me because she was a waitress, so she got dollar tips. When she would go to another room, that's when Buck would go get what he needed to get. I got a car, I'll see you later. And this repeated for a couple of years. I got about 18 or 19 doing that. I mean, that's disgusting. To wait on your poor mother to work all day, take what she had worked hard for, just so you can go do a drug that 5 to 2 minutes later, there's no effect on you anymore. You're just trying to get more and more and more. Your immune system goes up. You're just trying to get more and more. And you'll never reach the first high you got the first time. That's what everyone says. I know that to be true. I never got as high as I did the first time. I was always chasing it. It never happened. Then, about 20, 21, still living home with mom and daddy. Real winner I was. One night, got real sick. Didn't know what it was. From what I was told, because I literally passed out, I started bleeding out the mouth and nose. Well, my drug dealer got mad at me and put formaldehyde in my weed. So basically he tried to take me out because I owed him a little bit of money, and his name was Iceman, so that's the kind of characters I was hanging out with. Real winners. So choose who you hang out with. Really, that's a lot of my story right there is People you think that are cool in high school, middle school, all that, people you think are your friends, they're not your friends. In life, you only have about 5 people that you can actually call and count on. The rest of the people are just associates, or what I call good time Charlie buddies. More likely, they're there when the good time's there, but when you need them, they're not there. So, yeah, I had to learn that. That's the Mike Broadway coming out with me, because he preached this for years, and I just, like my dad said, I think he said I was like a salmon. Instead of going downstream with the current, I'd always go upstream. That's some of that Swainsboro talk. Then, not only did I go to the rehabs and all that, I did my time there, did a good little stint in jail. That was fun. Love having your freedom taken away from you. Love having this, you can't go get something to eat when you want to go eat. You got someone telling you when you can go get something to eat. Go to bed at a certain time. Do this at a certain time. That's not the life for me. But, as stupid as I was, got out of jail, sung my song for a while, continued to do what I needed to do as far as on the path of drugs and stuff. Then, let's see, I'm 24, 25, still living home with mom and dad, still sponging. Yeah, it's continued for a while. Then I got with, let's just call her the mother of my children. And I had Michael. I lived with her for a while. I had Michael. Then about a year and a half later, I had Andrew. And I'm continuing to drug through all this. That didn't stop me. Most people, you get kids, you're going to grow up, you're going to stop doing what you're doing, you got to man up. I didn't man up. I was so into self. Because Donnie, as an addict, we're into self so bad. I was so into self that it would be like a burden for me to watch my kids, for her to go somewhere and do what she needed to do. That's going to stop my time from doing my drugs. So there were times where I would leave my kids in one room, go do my drugs in another room, in the same house now. That's how sick I was. Just to get my high, to get my fun on. God knows what could happen to my babies. God knows what could happen to my babies. That's not a father, that's not a winner, that's someone who's sick, who needed help. So then they tried to put me in jail for a while, because since I was 16 to 18, I was always on probation. Columbia County, Richmond County, McDuffie County, they took a lot of my money. Trust me, I didn't get enough, so they took thousands of dollars of my money. So my dad and my kid's mom decided to go off my bail. They put me in jail. So I rebelled. I was showing out. So the worst thing you need to do is when you go to jail is tell them you want to kill yourself. That's the worst thing to say. Before I knew it, I was in a butt-naked cell. Yes. Literally in a butt-naked cell with a sheet on around other people who were, out there crazy. I was crazy, but these people are they fell off the funny farm. They were out there. I did a weekend there, told them I'll straighten up, please come get me out. I do this, I do that. I miss my kids, da-da-da-da-da. So I did that song and dance for about a couple months. I was actually straight for it, yeah. Poor pitiful me. I was actually straight for a few months. Then I started working at Ryan's. And I'm close to 28 to 30 years old. That's not a job for a grown man to have. I'm sorry, I don't demean anybody, but when you get that age, there's no benefits, there's no future in it. But I thought I was doing great. I was washing dishes, I worked every day, I paid for my own drugs. I'm doing good. Yeah, that's what I kept telling myself. And we continued on like that. I'm still on probation. I actually had one episode that I went to go see the probation officer one time. This is when I was about 28, 30, between that time. And the probation officer told me to pee in a cup. I'm dirty. I smoked before I went up to the probation office. That's real smart. So instead of dealing with it, my theory is I'll walk out of here. And let me tell you this is how stupid I was. I actually had got to the point where I had failed one piss test, one drug test. So they put the monitor on my leg. I had a monitor on. So there ain't no running. They know where you're at. They got a system to see where you're at. But the guy told me to take another drug test. So I'm like, okay, walk right out there. Went to work. Got to work. Had weed with me. Was smoking at work. Smoking a blunt. I know some of y'all know what that is. Smoking a blunt at work behind the trash cans. Next thing I know, I'm sitting back there chilling. I'm thinking, ain't nothing gonna happen to me. I'm invincible. Next thing you know, manager walks out. Police are here for you. I'm like, oh, can't say what I want to say in church. Threw it out. Next thing I know, I'm getting handcuffs. I'm going to Columbia County violation probation. So then, that time they put me in, I went to 401 for about 3 or 4 days. My luck, they didn't have a bed. Slept on the floor. That was real good. Loved that. Then, Finnessy Road, that's where they put me at. Went to Finnessy Road for 60 days. And, man, it's bad when your father comes out there. And trust me, he's the only one who's going to come and see you. Your friends ain't going to come and see you when you're in jail. The guys you hang out with and do drugs with, they're not going to come to see you in jail. That's your problem, man. You got to deal with that. So looking at my dad and looking through glass and just giving him another spiel, man, I'll do right. I'll do right. I pray I'll do right. I'll do this. I'll do whatever it takes. So they got me out of there and put me in the Hell House down on 401, I think it is, down on 4th Street, Hell Street. And did that. And this was the second time I was there, so I'm revolving around the door. I'm a real winner. Hey, look at me. Look how good y'all did me before. I'm back here. So went there. That just was a stop. That was just slowed me down, basically. Just another ploy to do my time, white knuckle it, tell everybody I'd be sober, tell everybody what they wanted to hear, so that way when I could get my own little freedom, get my car back, get my license back. Trust me, I've had my license took. That's terrible too. It's terrible to have to ask somebody else, a grown man to have to ask somebody else, I need a ride. It really, man, it's rough, Uber. Yeah, Uber. And I wouldn't call my dad that. So this continued till I was 31, 32, still working at Ryan's. Ryan's actually, business was so bad, shut the doors. So I didn't have a job. I was spiraling out of control still, using drugs every day. And then February of 2012, my buddy back there, Pichardo, I'm glad you're here, I love you, man. I just want to tell you that. You've always had my back. Me and him used to do dirt together. Y'all know what dirt is? Me and him used to do it together. But he's the only one true friend I've actually ever had. So I just want to tell him that, and I love him.
Love you too, brother.
That he actually quit before I did in February. He finally starting to get his life together. So he quit, and I'm like, dang, everybody I used to mess with ain't doing it no more. And maybe it's time for me to maybe wise up. So on March the 5th, 2012, the last day I used drugs, Pastor Randy Bird and my father, I want to thank Pastor Randy for helping me with this, got it set up to where I go to the Faith Home to see Mama Barnes. To go there for, I think it's 8 weeks. It's in Greenwood. Right, Bill?
That's right.
Okay. Went there. I'm like, oh boy, another place. Around grown men, that's all of us here. There's no women. I can't watch TV. What do you mean I can't watch sports? God, I'm tired of this. I'm 32 years old. I'm tired of having people tell me what I can and can't do. So maybe I'll try this God thing. I mean, really try it. Yeah, back in my day, I was an atheist. I don't want to hear about God. God's not real. I can't talk to God. I can't call God. I can't see God. That's the way I thought. I really just messed up. So I'm there for the 8 weeks. I graduated. Something that they taught or something that was there just stuck. Why not try this? Do something different. quit going around, just try this. Try to do good for once. Try not to, go with the flow like my dad would say. Maybe this will stick. And by the way, while I was in the faith home, and Jonathan Pichardo can back this up, I had a drug dealer who was actually looking for me. I owed him a good pile of money, and it wasn't no play. It was, I find you, I'm killing you and family. So that's what I was dealing with while I was trying to get myself together. So I graduate in May of 2012 at Faith Home. Went back to my parents' house, and I want to tell my mom, while I'm thinking about it, I love you. You've always had my back. You've always been there for me when you probably shouldn't have been. And you're the best person I know in my life. But after all the crap I've done to them, they never turned their back on me. So I stayed with them for a few months. Hard for me to find a job. I mean, I look at my background, DUI, possession, DUI, possession, DUI, possession. That's hard. You can't get a good job like that. So, where did I go? Oh, I went to the pest control company. I worked there, stayed clean, stayed with my mom's house, straightened myself up a little bit. Probably by that time I met you. Because I remember when I came back from Faith Home, I met you, and my first impression was, he is too jolly. God is too jolly. He is too happy. God, his happiness is sickening me. That's how sick my mind was. But I mean, I was trying to have clear thinking. I was like, God, he's so jolly. Maybe this guy will rub off on me. And he told me, I love you, and I'll do anything for you, and I'll be there for you, and I believe in you. And that was the first time that someone had actually done that who wasn't my mom and dad. And for some reason, as addicts and stuff, we have to be reassured a lot. We have to, at least in my case, I have to be told by other people that, we do love you. You can be better. So I want to thank you, Pastor, because you really helped me out a lot, whether you know it or not. You really did. You're a blessing in my life, and I look to you today. I almost enjoy your jolliness, almost. And like I said, by then I was still staying clean. 2014, I started working at a pest control company. Did pretty good there. Then, let's see. Then we started having church over here. Me and Pastor, we basically helped start the men's meeting to help, people who had problems. Because the worst thing as an addict is for us to hold in stuff. Because usually when we hold in stuff, that's when we mess up. So we need to get it out to somebody. We need to get our problems out. We need to get our emotions out. Sometimes, it's not weak to cry. Sometimes you gotta cry. You gotta get it out, man. And then I worked at the pest control. This is 2014, 2015. Lost my job at the pest control. My mistake. Just because, I want to tell everybody this, just because you get clean and sober, life's not easy. Life's more challenging. You don't have the drugs now to numb the feelings. The feelings are harder. The feelings come up. You have to deal with life on life's terms. You really do. You can't just, let me get high, forget about that. Let me get high, I don't worry about a bill.